What's up, guys? And this vid's coming a little late, but welcome. Week 3 passed us, and some teams won and some teams lost, as per usual. Week 4 started today, but let's get into our Week 3 report and let's hop right into the news. Starting out, we have a team rebranding, and it's hype. And let's see what they went with. Who the fuck is this guy? Apparently, this is the new wave of Gilbert Arenas. Team Zombs believe that rebranding to Gilbert Arenas with this logo is going to improve their chance of bringing in more fans, bringing in more revenue, especially in a time where they need their support. Gameplay wise, the Team Zombs now Gilbert Arenas hasn't been playing too well, but hopefully this will give them that boosted confidence and maybe swing them in the right direction. Look at this guy. Embodies basketball. Embodies. So glad to see him. Fans will love to see a new mascot. It's giving gritty vibes. So yeah, you love to see it. You love to see it. On to our news. We got 2 records being broken. 3, but we'll get into the third when the games start. When I go to show the scores. First is LeBron Bron. Bun Bun. He hit 1,500 games played. That's absolutely insane. He passes Carl Malone. Passed him a while ago, but about to pass John Stockton, that duo from Utah. And I think he has a solid chance to pass Robert Parrish. I mean, only 2 more seasons. I mean, he'll be what? He's already doing pretty well this season. Doesn't look like he's really slowing down yet. I mean, I will say I am worried that like bigger injury will like something like that, but this guy billion, billion as hell. On to our next piece of news. We have James Harden going up to 19th on the all-time scoring list. That a little over 2,600. He passes Kevin Garnett on his way to pass John Havlicek. Yeah, he's absolutely balling. Still has plenty of years to go. I mean, I feel like he's gonna hit 30,000. Time on the Rockets definitely propelled him a lot of these points on out of these 26,000. But yeah, with that, let's hop right into the scores. All right, so here are the scores. We have Gilbert Arenas here, who we were just talking about getting that rebrand. Um, he played the Kanto Embers in their first week as their rebranded team, their new mascot, and as we see, the Kanto Embers won. The rebranding wasn't enough in the stats. It was kind of kind of close. It was very close. I mean, he by 6 points and 4 threes. Everything else was similar. Steph Curry led the way for Warriors with 37 points, 36, 7, 5, 1. Um, with 203 points, that's a solid win. You hit 200. That's what you like to do. Wipe your hands. Yeah, but when you start playing better teams, it's gonna be like 250. As for Gilbert Arenas, Luka Doncic obviously balling. I think Alperen Sengun had the same score of 31.25, but give it to Luka Doncic, blood of the team, lifeline of the team. He almost dropped a triple double, and that if he did, it would have made it a lot closer. I mean, 8 points left, didn't get one more assist down. Or I guess if he did, it would actually be another 2 points, which would be 10 more points. 7 point. Anyways, tough luck for Gilbert Arenas, but the Kanto Embers is going to take this and love to have another win under the belt. On to the next game, we have Team Army Junior versus Team Lobster in what was a very timid match. There wasn't many fans in attendance. Um, both of these organizations, Team Army Junior needed this win, especially coming off of that championship. It looked like they were going to in for a tough season if they Team Army Jr. 185.19, enough to beat Team Lobster, who only had 100. Both of their best players had 31 and quarter. And if you look at the stats underneath me, honestly, really close. And the only big difference was points. I guess in the other stats, it was the steals and blocks. And as you can see, I mean, Team Lobster, we haven't seen Zach LaVine called for back. And that's really killing them. Really killing them. On to our next game. We have the Emperors versus Pack Nicely. And the Emperors put up another 250-point game. Cade Cunningham absolutely popping off with 41 points. He had 3 triple doubles this week. Absolutely massive for the team. Pack Nicely had 153.5 points. Not enough to get it done this in the league, but Giannis did have 37 and a quarter with 31 points and 6 rebounds. But if you look at the stats below, I mean, 90-point different, 8 assists different, 25 rebounds about different, and 23s. That's the big one. Jesus, 23. But you look at some of these stats, and I think the big difference. I mean, obviously the rebounds are really the bread and butter, and the pointers are really the bread and butter. If you have a big 3-point differential, that's a lot of points. A lot of points on the board to make. Still trying to win that. On to our next game, the Mog squad played Team Dam, and as we can see here, we had our first player of the week at 46 and 0.75, dropped 34 and 16. Absolutely monster of a game. Mog squad dropped 220.44 to Dam's 128.9. Fortunately for Dam, like most of his team injured, like a ridiculous amount, like over 5 or whatever. I hate to see it, especially if you're an Emperor's fan, because you're like, oh, beat us last. Now they're just like crippled. There's nothing they can do. Their team is falling apart. But unfortunate for Team Dam, especially after that big win. You'd hope they bounce back next week, but I think injury affect them. But you do, I mean, I like to see Laurie Markkinen, best player right now. Only 25 points, but in Laurie Markkinen's. On to our next game, we have the Fraggle Rock 9 versus I Could Go For A Beer in the game of the week. I Could Go For A Beer won by 206 to 186.94, and it came down to the final day of the week. Yusuf Nurkic needed to get, I think it was, I believe, 25 points, 26 points to win. And unfortunately, he got injured halfway through the second quarter. We only had 8 points. Probably more like 30. But he only had 8 points. And it just unfortunate. But for I Could Go For A Beer, going to 3-0 now. It's huge win. Then another top dog in Jokic, like it's clockwork. 49.25, dropping a triple double. Absolutely wild. But if you look at the stats below me, they were pretty even. I mean, Firework 9 had the assist, but I Could Go For A Beer had the rebound. It was really anybody's game, and it came down to steal. Double, triple double. As for Fraggle Rock 9, they're still one of the strongest. Average week for them, but one is still would beat most. Kevin Durant played best for the team, 30 and a half, which 30 and a half is not normal. Fraggle Rock 9, for that being their best player. As for I Could Go For A Beer, they lose Chet Holmgren for the next. Absolutely, that's unbearable. That's one of your main point producers. We'll have to see how that affects them. We have Team Web Warrior versus Danville Dairy Daddies. As we see our final and third top dog, Wemby, dropped 24-16, 7 for blocks. They won 203 to 176. really close game. I mean, the assists were kind of far apart, maybe the difference. But as you can see for Team Web Warriors best player, Montes Sabonis, 17 points, 0 blocks, but also 0 turnovers. They went, believe it, that Domantas Sabonis is the first player in NBA history. Turnovers, and field goal percentages being tracked to have a perfect triple double, where he went 6 for 6 from the field, 5 for 5 from the free throw line, and didn't have a turnover in the entire game. Absolutely wild. I kind of speechless. It's fucking. But for Team Up Warrior, that was the only good spotlight on the team. Everybody else just on to our final game and one of our best games of the week. This game also came to one of the final days of the week. The Codfather is raining down his law of the land. He's trying to take the league over, beating Harlem Globetrotters, the former #1 seed of the league, 199.25 to 171.75. Bam Adebayo leading the way with 16 points, 5 assists, bounds, 3 steals, 4 blocks. That's it. And then for the other side, Jason Tatum only had 34 points. For a star like Jason Tatum, you want to at least get 40, especially if your other players are struggling. I hate Jason. As for our stats down here, we can see that points wise, Codfather took it away and the threes away, and then the Harlem Globetrotters had 9 more rebounds and more double doubles, but it just Codfather just had more balanced effort, more steals, more blocks. Just with Bam Adebayo, 3 steals and 4. That's gonna do it for our scores of the week. A lot of teams fought valiantly. Want to reiterate, make sure you double check your lineups. Injuries are gonna screw us all one point or another. Probably more than we anticipate, but it's unfortunate. Let's get into our highlight of the week. I believe comes from the Godfather. All right, so 1 point game between the Pistons and Hornets. Final possession. Brick. But Brandon Miller from the Godfather gets the buzzer beater. He's that guy. They're absolutely mobbing him. And then the Hornets win 108 to 107 against the Pistons, which for the Pistons, you hate to beat that franchise, but damn. Absolutely wild. All right, so that was our highlight of the week. Brandon Miller's such a dog. He's gonna be so good. I love his swagger. And also the Hornets stadium was packed. It was packed for a Hornets Pistons game. I think with 2 franchises that haven't been good for the last decade. I wouldn't say, yeah, decade. All right, I was thinking about Drummond days, but not even that good. Drummond, Blake Griffin. I'm getting by myself. Here are the standings. For week 3, as we see him, Codfather at the #1 seed at 3-0. We only have 2 undefeated teams. Codfather and I could go for a beer, but the Codfather has enormous amounts of points for. As we can see, all of the teams in the playoffs have a winning record. The team just outside is the Emperors. But the Emperors had the most points for in the league. Very unfortunate. As we look in the little forecast, so this week it's not gonna look like gonna need some help. Jose Alvarado only. See how that turns out. Gilbert Arenas also at 1 and 2 they fall a little bit. It's pretty interesting. What's unchanged is our 0 and 3 team. played at all well this year. And with that, let's go into Fagan's list. Hey guys, so that was Fagan's list. Hope y'all enjoyed. Hope y'all paused throughout the video. I love that Fagan does this. This week had a lot of insight. So definitely pause and go through if you missed some stuff. And just other than that, thank you guys for playing. A lot more. I think this was a pretty successful week. A lot of good games. Injuries are starting to come and affect a lot of teams, especially like Team Dam. So keep checking your lineups. And other than that, Thanksgiving's around the corner. The cup, I believe, starts tomorrow. So I didn't even think about that. So start maybe playing your guys for those cup games, in season tournament games. You might play harder, all those incentives to win and stuff. But other than that, just thank y'all for your participation. See y'all next week. Boy, here are the next week's matchups.